Alright, and then she wanted to finish off. That's right, no great. That'll be quite a lovely trip for her. Perfect way to end the Sleuths. Excellent. Right. Yes, that looks good. Okay. Oh, hello there. Welcome to the Misty Hollow Travel Agency, your final destination for all of your afterlife adventures. How can I help you today? Wonderful, you're looking to book a little bit of a trip, yes? Excellent. Well, is there a particular occasion for this trip? A specific date? Perhaps your death day celebration or anything like that? Oh, how lovely. Yes, the spooky season is obviously quite exciting for all of us ghosts and spectres and spirits, but it can be quite busy. There are quite a lot of spirits who afterwards feel a bit off, a bit like they've perhaps lost some of their spectral energy. I'm so glad that you're taking some time to have a trip after that, to just sort of rest and relax and recharge. That's delightful. I wish more spirits did things like that. But yes, this is an excellent time of year to tour all kinds of wonderful places. Now, are you looking for a few days trip, a whole fortnight? What were you thinking? About a week. Good, good, good. It's a nice amount of time for a trip, in my opinion. Enough to have quite a lot of adventures, and also some rest, without it getting too monotonous. Wonderful. Well, did you have any particular areas that you wanted to visit, or are you open to hearing some of the options that we have here? Alright, good, good. Yes, we have quite a lot of different trips and destinations in different haunted places all around the globe. So I think that we can come up with a wonderful trip for you. Okay, would you like to have me suggest some places to you, or would you like to make some suggestions? I would be happy to, absolutely. Let me start a new file for you, alright? Here we are. Have you ever travelled with Misty Hollow before? Well, welcome. I'm sure that this is going to be a lovely experience for you. Alright, could I get your name, please? It doesn't have to be your human name, whatever you would prefer to be called. Okay, wonderful. It's lovely to meet you. Right, and approximately when were you born? Your mortal body. Okay. And then when did you die? Right. Good, good, good. Do you know the manner of your death at all? Well, it sort of matters as far as different places that I might suggest to you. I wouldn't want to suggest anything that might be triggering or dramatic. And it's also okay if you don't exactly remember your death. Not every spirit does. That's alright. Okay. Sure. Sorry to hear that. Well, I hope that the afterlife has been treating you acceptably. Hopefully this trip will be a nice little break for you then. Good, good, good. Glad to hear it. Alright, now, just to get to know you and perhaps your travel preferences a bit better, I do have just a short list of questions of just your different preferences and things, and then we can get into some suggestions. Does that sound good? Alright, wonderful. Now, are you looking to travel domestically, internationally, a bit of both, just sort of open to either? Okay, good. Yes, some ghosts prefer to only travel near where they were killed or where they lived when they were mortals. Others like to travel the world. Of course, travelling is a bit easier for us now that we don't have our corporeal bodies holding us back, but it's still just good to know what you would prefer. Alright, now speaking of your travel preferences, would you like to travel by ghost ship, scrying mirror, portals, spectral carriage, flight 19? Alright, of course. Yes, we can accommodate that. Yes, that's a very nice service we have here. Okay. Do you like to spook mortals on your travels, or would you prefer observing them from a distance? Okay, good, good, good. Yes, right after spooky season, of course, some ghosts still like to have a bit of that mixed in. Others prefer to avoid it for now. That's all right. Okay. Now, shall I include any sort of cryptid hunting for you, or would you like to keep your trip more spectral, paranormal? Right, sure, yes, I can certainly share with you some options. It doesn't have to be entirely that, but just good to know that you're open to it. Alright, now would you like to attend any sort of rituals, seances, other magical gatherings, magical dates, things like that? Okay, sure, yes, I can let you know what's available. Good, 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 good. What are the dates that you're looking to travel? Alright, good. Gives us a bit of time to plan without having to make you wait too long. I suppose we do have an eternity to wait now. That doesn't mean that everyone still likes you. Alright, good. Those dates down for you too. Alright, now do you like guided tours of historical places, haunted places, things like that? Or would you prefer to explore on your own a bit more? Alright, good, yes, yes. Now a lot of the places that I'll be suggesting to you, if you would like, you have the option of having a tour led by an actual human, you know, accompanying the humans. Not that they'll be able to see you, but it can be quite nice to just sort of be in the background of a tour. That way, if you wanted to linger at a certain place, or if you meet a certain spirit along the way you'd like to get to know, you can, without interrupting a tour. Or you can also have a tour after human hours, guided directly by a local ghost or spirit as well. So we can talk about those options as well too. Do you think you would have a strong preference whether you would like to be part of a human tour or a ghost tour? Okay, good, 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 good. Good to keep in mind there. Alright, now, do you prefer your vacations during the full moon? Should we avoid the full moon, or does it not really matter for you? Okay, good. Alright. Are you more of a restless wanderer, or do you like to linger in one place? Sure, okay. Yes, it's alright if it's a bit of both for any of these answers as well. Generally, with a 7-day tour, I would suggest maybe 3 to 4 different locations if you like to travel around a bit. Otherwise, we do have some wonderful haunted resorts and abandoned places where you could spend the entire time if you wanted to. Okay, well, yes, sure. We'll discuss some different options then. All right. Now, would you like to travel with other spirits, or will you be more of a solo private experience? Okay, sure. All right. Good, 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 good. Would you like to have some social events planned in where you can get to know other spirits? Okay. Good. Alright, now, it's okay if you do. Do you require ectoplasm protection or ectoplasm-proof accommodations at all? Okay. Well, of course, every place that we'll be suggesting to you, we have perfectly vetted so that we know that it is safe to spirits and spectres and ghosts and any number of paranormal creatures. However, there is the occasional rogue YouTube paranormal hunter or the like that every once in a while can get a bit overzealous, especially with things that they buy off of the internet. So we like to make sure, if someone is sensitive to those things, that when you're touring places, that we have safeguards, just in case. Okay, good. But we do personally guarantee your safety at any of the places that we go to. If there is news of any sort of paranormal hunters in the area, we can of course adjust your schedule around so that you can avoid them. Although some spirits actually enjoy running into them to play a bit of a joke on them too, so it's entirely up to you. Alright, now as I am booking you into different places to stay overnight, whether you choose to sleep or not, of course, is your prerogative, but would you like me to book you in rooms with mortals for some light haunting, or would you prefer vacant rooms? Okay, sure. Now some of the locations are entirely abandoned by humans and only have ghosts visitors, but there are some places that those humans who enjoy the paranormal might stop into, so just good to have an idea. Alright, now are there any specific locations that are full of painful memories from your living days that we should avoid? Okay. You know, some people really enjoy, you know, especially if they've been killed somewhere famous, they enjoy staying around those places. Other spirits prefer to avoid them. That's okay. As long as your soul is not tethered to one place, which I'm fairly certain it's not, seeing as I don't think you were killed in this building, haven't seen you before, we can certainly accommodate either. Alright, good, good. I think I'm getting a bit of a vibe of what you're looking for your trip. Now, as far as suggesting different places, I do have a few sort of pre-made trips that are all 7 days long that we could look at just to sort of get an idea of what you're feeling like. And each of these they're sort of themed around a particular paranormal experience. Now, if you like certain places from these trips, we can of course mix and match and make something specifically for you. Or perhaps just reading any of these, you might think that it's perfect and it's exactly what you're looking for. Okay, well, we'll start out with a few of our pre-designed trips here. Let me see which one shall we go through. Let's try that one. Critical Mind, that's a big hit. How do you feel about serial killers? Like the tours for them? Right, okay. Would you prefer more historical places or places of myth and legend? Okay. Sound like a nice mix too. Most of our pre-designed tours have a mix of both of them. And of course, as we design a trip for you, we will make sure that it has exactly what you're looking for. Okay. Yeah, that could be nice. Good, 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 good. Alright, I think we'll start with this. Now, each of these trips that I'm going to show you have, as I said, either 3 or 4 different locations. So you'll spend a day or 2 in each of them, maybe sometimes 3 days. And of course we can adjust any of those. Typically, when I have someone traveling around, I like to have a mix for them of things that are both scheduled, like tours and events, but also just giving some downtime so that you can explore and listlessly wander on your own to your heart's content. That's why it's designed to have a bit more time in some of these places. But of course, if it feels like there's too much time in any one place, or you want more in any one place, we can certainly accommodate that too, okay? Wonderful. Okay, well, let's start with this one, shall we? This is our Pagan Pilgrimage trip. It has a few places in the United States, and then we'll be going off to Great Britain as well for some very ancient historical places as well. Let's take a look. Now, our Pagan Pilgrimage package is designed for spirits seeking ancient magic, reverent landscapes, and places where history and the supernatural still walk side by side. You'll start out in the beautiful town of Salem, Massachusetts for days 1 and 2 of your journey. You can visit the Witch House. You can see the Salem Witch Trials Memorial and attend an evening seance at the old Burying Point Cemetery. Guests can explore local shops that are owned by different witches and mediums and the like. And you can shop for spell bottles, graveyard safe incense. You can have a broom making class and have some spirit-friendly tarot readings. Quite exciting. A lot of different activities to do here in Salem. And of course it's a lovely town to just walk around and see things for yourself as well. Lots of spirits still very active there as well if you'd like to meet some of the local historical people. Now for days 3 and 4, that will take you across the sea to Cornwall, England, another place steeped in rich, rich history. Here you can wander through the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic in Boscastle, take a coastal folklore walk featuring tales of the Mermaid of Senor, quite a fascinating tale there, and visit St. Nectan's Glen, a waterfall sacred to nature spirits. Lots of beautiful things to see in the region of Cornwall as well, so you'll have no trouble filling up 2 whole days there, I guarantee it. Another place that's wonderful for meeting spirits from ages past, if that's interesting to you. Now, day 5 is dedicated entirely to Stonehenge. There are some lovely villages around that region as well if you would like to visit them, but every spirit, I think, should see Stonehenge at least once in their afterlife. You can join a moonlit ritual with chanting, drumming, and ley line energy recharging. Perfect for spirits who have some fading ectoplasm or tired auras. It's a wonderful place to recharge a bit. It's just a beautiful, beautiful environment, beautiful energy there. If you'd like to see some local humans who still practice the ancient ways, this is a wonderful place to meet them, or at least observe them from a distance. And of course there are lots and lots of spirits from a few hundred years ago all the way to thousands of years ago. You can find out quite a lot that the humans don't know about Stonehenge. I don't want to spoil it, but it is quite delightful. And then we will conclude this tour with 2 days around Newgrange Island. This is a deeply spiritual place for the Celts. Lots of ancient magic and wisdom going on there. So during this tour you can participate in Celtic spiritual history workshops with offerings for ancestral spirits and perhaps contacting some of the spirits from the region as well. And then you'll also get to visit the Hill of Tara, which is the ancient seat for Irish high kings. And there's lots of different earthworks, standing stones, ritual sites around there. It is an area bustling with magical activity. And then of course you'll want to tour the Lochru Cairns as well, which are beautiful megalithic tombs atop rolling hills. The entire landscape of Ireland, especially in this region around Newgrange, is so enchanting, mystical. It just you can feel the magical energy around you wherever you go. It's a wonderful place to reconnect with your own energy and, of course, just have some nice recharging time at the end of your lovely voyage through our Pagan Pilgrimage. Next up, we have a tour called Creatures of the Night. This one is for the connoisseurs of paranormal stories, full of vampires, werewolves, famous hauntings, things like that. It'll have you travelling to Romania, Slovakia, France, and then a bit of a choice at the end here. Quite a lot of excitement to this one. Now, our Creatures of the Night tour is going to feature quite a few different places around the world, really, associated with some of the most famous tales of vampires, werewolves, ghosts and hauntings, things like that. Quite a lot of fun for those who enjoy the paranormal creatures and things that go bump in the night. So for your first destination, you'll be spending 2 days at and around Bran Castle in Romania. Of course, this is the very famous castle associated with Dracula himself. Now, you'll get to have a tour where you'll hear both the historical side of the Count Dracula, as well as, of course, all of the legends and things like that too. Now, you can have either a human-led tour or a ghost-led tour. Either of them will be very, very informative. So there's also lovely candlelit corridors and decadent suites. Here, as a ghost, you'll actually get to stay in the castle during your time here. Quite exciting. And if you'd like, there's also a tour of the torture chambers. And there's, of course, lots and lots of spirits in there that you can commune with if you would like. If you're more of the outdoorsy type, there's also an opportunity to hike through the beautiful Transylvanian countryside. Now, you can do that on a tour where you can hear of some other historical places and villages and the like associated with the actual historical figure Dracula. Or you can just go on your own as well. It's a place steeped in very ancient feeling energy. And then, one of the biggest pulls for this particular one is a vampire masquerade ball hosted at midnight for spirits, spectres, vampires, and of course other paranormal creatures exclusively. No humans at this event. It is often quite a highlight for people, especially if you have an affinity for the vampires of the world. Quite a delightful trip there. Next, you'll be going to another famous castle associated with rumours of vampirism. This is Cryptid Castle in Slovakia. The castle that belonged to the famous, or infamous, Elizabeth Bathory. Now, Bathory she's been called quite a lot of things throughout history. Whether they are true or not, well, actually, I guess during the tour, if you meet some of the ghosts, you'll be able to hear more of the actual true story of Elizabeth Bathory. Was she just a woman that was ahead of her time and people made up rumours to do her in? Or was she actually the virgin-killing, blood-bathing maniac that people believe her to be now? It's quite an interesting story, at least. Now, here you can also participate in some blood red moon viewing, and there's some lovely ghost-friendly social mixers and, lots of different opportunities to meet local spirits. Quite a lot of fun, and just a lovely historical place as well. Now, there's also Bathory's Crypt area, which is a wonderful place for EVP photography and all kinds of things. In fact, there's usually at least a few different paranormal hunters or YouTube paranormal hunters or something like that there. It can be quite a fun place if you'd like to get yourself photographed by some curious mortals. Then for the next stint of your journey, you'll be going to a beautiful place called Gévaudan in France. Now this is the place infamous for, of course, the beast of Gévaudan. This was a werewolf-like creature that still remains quite a mystery to this day. Lots of different versions of the story, I suppose, lots of intrigue. So here you'll get to visit some forest paths where different sightings of the beast occurred. There's also a museum dedicated to that particular legend, the history around it, and then also the less perhaps historical but just as intriguing stories and lore. And if you'd like, you can also participate in some night howling walks where guests listen for distant growls of beasts that still live in the area. It's also just a beautiful little French village in the countryside, a wonderful place to explore, meet local spirits and the like, visit local graveyards, lovely little patisseries and things like that. So this can be a mix of both the, the touring places and also just having some lovely time to relax as well. And then for your final destination, it's a bit of a viewer's choice, I suppose. You can choose from the Stanley Hotel, the hotel that inspired The Shining. You can choose from the Queen Mary ship, one of the most infamous ghost ship stories in history, or Penhurst Asylum. Probably no description needed for that one. And you can stay there, explore the area, meet the famous spirits associated with all the hauntings and paranormal activity that go there. Penhurst Asylum, of course, is not for the faint of heart, but it is quite delightful, especially as a spirit. You can really talk to some of the spirits that are there, hear their stories. And it's also a delightful place to watch humans get spooked. You can move objects slightly, whisper into the audio equipment for fun, all kinds of things like that. So this is a bit more of an interactive bit of your trip, but it is quite delightful. If you'd like, we could also move this to be higher up and have you end in Gévaudan in France so that you have a bit more relaxing time at the end of your journey, if you'd like to still have lots of lovely spectral energy to have fun with some curious humans, but it's entirely up to you. Then, if you're looking for something a bit different, perhaps not the paranormal monsters, but the worst monster of all, humans, we also have a tour that we call Serial Killer Sleuths. This one will have you touring some of the most iconic regions and hunting grounds of some of the worst criminals ever known to man. Now, if you are a spirit intrigued by true crime history and haunted locales, then our Serial Killer Sleuths package would be a wonderful idea for you. You'll get to journey through a respectful but atmospheric journey through stories the world still whispers about to this day. Now, day one, you'll begin in London, England. You'll walk through a lantern-lit route of Jack the Ripper through foggy alleys and cobblestone streets with, of course, ghost-only VIP access. There's, of course, lots of different spirits along the way that you might run into as well. And guests may also choose an optional tour of the Tower of London, another place steeped in history and full of all kinds of very interesting spirits from throughout different historical periods. And then the evening concludes at a Victorian mortuary exhibit. There's actually interactive hauntings that are allowed if you would like that sort of thing. It's always quite fun to spook humans when they're in a place like a mortuary. Can be quite fun. Then for days 2 and 3, that would take you to Chicago, Illinois, a city with quite a lot of delightful, wonderful, good history, and also a bit of dark history as well. Here you'll get to visit the site of H.H. Holmes's murder castle. It's a wonderful tour, and of course, again, lots of different spirits there that you can commune with if you would like. And then there's quite a lot of surviving buildings and fairgrounds from the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, which is where H.H. Holmes did all of his hunting, I suppose you could say. Quite atmospheric and very, very interesting. And then if you'd like, you can also visit the John Wayne Gacy focused walking tour as well. He was active in a few different cities around the United States, but he did quite a lot of his hunting in Chicago. And then for variety, we also include the Gangsters and Mobs stops with the Chicago True Crime tours. So not exactly serial killer per se, but still lots of spirits, lots of intrigue, and more than a little bit of paranormal rumours around the mob of Chicago as well. Or, if you're feeling a bit more like hunting for urban legends on your own, we also have our Cryptid Connoisseur trip. Now this one you're only at 3 different locations, but that's because we want to leave lots of time for you to go exploring and hunting for these urban legends on your own. These are some of the most iconic places in the United States where different cryptid creatures are seen the most. So quite a lot of fun can be had at this one too. Now, our Cryptid Connoisseur package is specifically for spirits who enjoy mysteries, ancient folklore and more modern folklore, and the thrill of the unexplained. Now, days 1 and 2, you'll start out in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. This is a place known for its infamous Mothman sightings. So here you can enjoy a private after-hours tour of the Mothman Museum, specially arranged for incorporeal guests like yourself. You'll receive a personalised photo session beside the famous Mothman statue as well. Now, in traditional film, of course, you won't show up there, but if you'd like, I could make sure that I have you booked there on the day when we have a spectral photographer. They're not there every evening, but they are there, I believe, on Thursdays, Fridays and Saturday evenings, so I can make sure that that part of your journey is there if you would like a memorabilia of a photo near the Mothman statue. And then of course there's also some lovely complimentary glowing red souvenir eyes to spook passers-by and the like. And of course, with the 2 different days that you're going to spend here, there's also lots of time for hunting through the forest around Point Pleasant if you would like to find Mothman. Even if you don't find Mothman specifically, there's all kinds of interesting creatures in the woods nearby. Now, days 3 and 4 will take you up to Portland, Maine. Not Portland, Oregon. We're staying on the East Coast for this particular leg of the journey. This is a wonderful town up in the forest, in sort of the less inhabited region to the north of the country. And here you'll get to explore the International Cryptozoology Museum. It's a place dedicated to all kinds of unknowns in nature, whether they be cryptids, whether they be urban legends, whether they be hybrid species that are unidentified as of now. All kinds of fascinating things going on there. It's the only place of its kind in the world. You'll also get to attend an exclusive workshop about how to become your own urban legend. That's very exciting. It's actually hosted by a very famous cryptid, but I won't give it away. It's quite fun. And there you'll talk about things like crossroads haunting strategies, whispering techniques, and the best woods for silhouette appearances during foggy nights. It's a wonderful, wonderful workshop there. Quite a lot of fun. And of course, also there's ample time for exploring the forest on your own. Now, this last stint of your journey will take you to the forests in Washington State. So now we're going to the other side of the country, where you'll stay in an abandoned mountainside lodge that's actually rumoured to be Bigfoot's winter hideaway. I have it on good authority that quite a few guests during this time of year do actually have some sightings of the legend himself. You'll get to enjoy some guided night tours and a ghost-safe bonfire featuring some fun little Sasquatch calls, as well as some other optional excursions to famous Bigfoot landmarks and the like. So this is a delightful part of your journey. The abandoned lodge, it's of course abandoned by humans, but not by spirits. There's actually quite a lot of different things that a spirit can do in the lodge, just like you would in a normal winter lodge. Things like spa packages, movie nights, all kinds of things go on there. Now we also have some optional add-ons to this trip, which includes an EVP recording session and also a little Become a Cryptid for a Day disguise package. Quite a lot of fun too. If you choose this one, we will certainly go over the details for that. So, those are a few different options of excursions that you might enjoy. But as I said, we can also mix and match, and this is not an exhaustive list of all of the different places that you could visit. These are just some of our most popular ones, and a good place to get the ball rolling. So, what do you think of any of these trips? Of course, I would be happy to mix and match for you. Well, here, let me show you these. You can sort of pick out maybe one or two places from each of these that you would like to focus on. Or if none of them are interesting to you, we can start all over too. That's okay. We've got all the time in the world after all. Okay, sure, yes. Well, we can just start listing out some of the places that feel the most exciting to you, and then we can design the trip around that, okay? Alright, so where is a place that you definitely know you would like to visit? Ah, wonderful. Stonehenge. That is something that everyone should see at least once, I think. Personally, it is a wonderful place to visit during the solstice or any of the pagan festival days, really. It is an excellent, well, a place to recharge your energy, but also a place to learn and commune with other spirits as well. Absolutely. Now, would you like to attend a seance while you're there, or any sort of rituals? That will just depend on which day I put you in there. Okay, sure. Keep that in mind as we are going, right? Good, good, good. So we'll have Stonehenge in your journey. Any other places that you know you would like to visit? Ah, Bran Castle. Are you a fan of the Count Dracula? You are a fan of the Count? Many people are, especially with all of the different paranormal sightings and things around that area. It's quite popular with ghosts and spirits, as well as humans who have a leaning more towards the macabre, of course. Now, does the Midnight Masquerade Ball interest you? Of course, spirits only for that one. Okay, good. I'll make sure that we book you there on a day when the ball is happening. Of course, if you get there and you decide you don't want to go, that's perfectly fine too, but I'll make sure that you have the option. Good, good, good. Alright, now, while you're there, would you like to tour any of the countryside around it, tour the torture chambers, any of that I can schedule for you? Alright, good, 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 good. Now, at the castle, they do actually have the suites right in the castle that ghosts are allowed to stay in. So I can book you in a suite there. Otherwise, there are some lovely, quaint little places in towns nearby. But to get the full experience of the castle, it is encouraged to stay overnight, of course. Right, good. I will have you booked in there for a suite. All of the rooms are very luxurious suites with their own bathroom. I suppose we don't necessarily need that, but it's still nice to have. Alright, good. And there is also an optional wine tasting. Well, smelling, I suppose. Not that we can really taste things, but it's still fun to smell things now and then, especially if you were a connoisseur of wine or things like that. Would you like to attend the tasting? Smelling? Right. Good, 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 good. Okay. Anywhere else that you know that you would like to visit from these different locations? Oh, wonderful, wonderful. London. There's quite a lot going on in London. Are you interested in the Jack the Ripper tour that I mentioned from the serial killer tour? Yes, of course. I will make sure to book you for that. Would you like that to be facilitated by humans so that you can just flit in and out of the tour as you would like? Or would you like a specifically spirit-led tour? Okay, good. Would you like that tour to be private or with others? Okay. Good, good. Yes, that's a wonderful one. Also, you will most likely meet at least one of the spirits. I can't guarantee. Sometimes they like to, move around in their particular areas, but there is usually at least one spirit that will pop up now and then that you can commune with if you would like. Alright, anything else in London that you would like to tour? There is, of course, the Tower of London, quite a lot of spirits activity in there. There's also Highgate Cemetery, all kinds of wonderful haunted places there. Sure, yes, of course. And again, would you like a human-led tour or a spirit-led tour? Good, 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 good. Alright. Now, as far as accommodations while you are in London, there's a few different hotels here that are quite accommodating to spirits, I suppose. My suggestion would be the Langham Hotel, and room 333 is actually available if you would like. Good, good, good. That is a very exciting experience staying there. Good, I will have you booked in for that. Alright, anything else in London that you know that you would like to schedule ahead of time? Okay, yes, of course. It's lovely to just be able to wander places like London too. Quite a lot of history, quite a lot of spirits, quite a lot of stories to explore for a ghost. Alright, well, I think we'll put London and Stonehenge then close together on your tour just to minimise travel time, of course. Perhaps we'll do Bran Castle first, might be nice. And so we'll do that for a day, then London, and then Stonehenge. Okay, we'll put that tentatively for now. Are there any other places that you would like to visit that you know that you want? Ah, Salem, yes. Quite a lot to explore in Salem, of course. Lots of different historical places to tour if you would like. Lots of very old cemeteries. Well, not as old as what you're going to find in England, obviously, but old and rich with history in Salem. Right, and would you like the Witch House tour? Of course, of course. Most of the cemeteries, there is not particularly a tour, but I can give you a list of them as well so that you can flit around and explore them on your own if you would like. Good, good. I'll make sure that I include that list for you. Alright, and then as far as your accommodations while you're in Salem, we have a few different options for you to choose from. There is the Hotel Salem, the Salem Inn, or the Salem Waterfront Hotel. That last one is definitely the most extravagant. The Salem Inn is the most historic and quaint, whereas Hotel Salem is a bit in the middle. So whichever one that you would prefer. There's openings in all of them. Good choice. That is a lovely one to visit. Now, did you say room with humans or without? Okay. Good, 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 good. We'll make sure that I have you booked in there. Now for Salem, I would usually suggest at least 2 days to explore. There is so much to do in Salem, as I already said. Lots of different shops to explore, historical sites. You can attend a seance as well, a ghost-friendly seance, all of those kinds of things. So I would really suggest making Salem at least 2 days, even 3. You wouldn't get bored. What do you think? 2 days, okay, good, 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 good. 2 days in Salem, I think would be lovely. Did you want 1 day or 2 days at Bran Castle? Just the 1 day? Okay, sure. It'll be enough to tour what you would like and, of course, attend the masquerade. And then 1 day, well, we'll say 2 days, and that can be London and Stonehenge. Does that sound good? Okay, good, good, good. So we've got day 1, Bran Castle. Days 2 and 3, London, with a trip to Stonehenge in there. And then days 4 and 5 in Salem, Massachusetts. That sound good? Right, and then for days 6 and 7, would you like something perhaps a bit more low-key? You said that this trip was supposed to be rest and relaxation. So maybe we'd like somewhere that still has some excitement, but also gives you a chance to just really relax and find your inner paranormal spirit again. Okay? That is an excellent idea. The lodge in Washington Forest, the abandoned one that Bigfoot likes to frequent. Of course, I can't guarantee that he'll be there, but he is there very often, so you might get to meet him yourself. That is a wonderful way to finish off your trip. A bit of rest and relaxation in the quiet forest. Well, not exactly quiet. Forests are not quiet places, but quiet in terms of human interactions. Good. Now, while you are there at the Forest Lodge, there are actually spirits who live there year-round and offer all kinds of services. So if you would like, I could include something like a spectral spa package for you to enjoy in the evening. Wonderful. Have you ever had a spectral spa? Oh, it does absolute wonders for the spirit, I can tell you that. It is such a refreshing, recharging experience. I can do that perhaps on the first day that you get there to sort of relax after the travel, or would you like it the second day, right before you go home? Okay, good. Let's see. Yes, I can get you booked for that. Afternoon or evening, do you think? Okay, good, good. Yes, that's available there today. Wonderful. Now, would you also like the guided night tour of the forest? There's a very knowledgeable spirit. I believe he was actually a park ranger in his days. He knows all of the best locations that Bigfoot sightings have happened. Good, good, yes. That way you'll still get a bit of excitement. And of course there are nightly tours and hunting trips, I suppose, if you would like to see if you can find Bigfoot yourself. And of course the term Bigfoot is it's a bit misleading. It's not just one creature, of course. There's all kinds of them that live over there. They're actually rather nice once you get past the smell. Alright. Wonderful. I think this is shaping up to be an excellent trip for you. I think we've got a nice balance of excitement and historical tours, paranormal, spiritual experiences like at Stonehenge, and then some lovely time for relaxation as well. Alright, so let me review with you what we have so far. I've got you at Bran Castle, the first day, where you'll get to hike the countryside, tour the torture chambers, and of course attend the Spirit Masquerade Ball at midnight. Second day, you'll go to London, enjoy the Jack the Ripper tour, and you can also tour the Tower of London and Highgate Cemetery if you would like. Day 3, you'll be at Stonehenge. Oh, would you like to actually stay at an inn at Stonehenge, or would you like to return to London? Okay, sure. There are some nice little towns nearby Stonehenge. I would suggest... there's lots of openings here in Salisbury. It's a nice town. It's got enough amenities, but still feels like just a small English countryside town. There's lots of lovely places that you can stay too. Historical, where you might run into different ghosts and spirits, but also feels very quaint. Okay, good, good, good. In Salisbury. Now while you're there, you could also tour the Salisbury Cathedral. There's not a spirit-led tour, I don't believe, but you can of course go in on your own. Cathedrals are wonderful places for finding spirits too. They might be a bit stuffy though. Now, it looks like we have openings both at the Red Lion Hotel or the Legacy Rose and Crown, both in Salisbury. Which of those would you like? Excellent choice. Can get you booked in there then. Wonderful. And I will let the spectral concierge know to expect you in all of these different places. Of course you won't be going to the front desk like most mortals. They have their own place. It's very easy to find, don't you worry. I'll include all of those instructions as well as we're going. Alright, so day 3 will be Stonehenge and also exploring the little town of Salisbury if you would like. Then days 4 and 5 in Salem, Massachusetts. You'll get to see the witch house, lots of different cemeteries, and just wander the streets, all of the shops and different places like that. And then days 6 and 7, a wonderful relaxing stay in the abandoned Forest Lodge in Washington State. Good, good, good. That sounds like an excellent trip. Good. Well, it will take me just a little bit longer to finalize everything. If I have any other questions, I will be sure to contact you. Would you like me to contact you through scrying mirror, or do you have another way? Ah, alright, good. Could I get that contact information, please? Alright. Oh, haven't heard that name in a long time. Good, good, good. So as soon as I get that finished, I will have the final itinerary sent off to you. Now I can also include different places like local restaurants if you'd like to go smelling the local cuisine, or I can leave that out if that's a bit of a sore subject. Not to worry. I will make sure. Good. Good. Well, I think that's going to be a delightful trip for you. I'm so glad that you're taking some time to just rest and relax and recharge after the busiest time of the year for us. Good. Well, if you think of anything else, please feel free to reach out or come back here anytime, and I can, of course, adjust and add anything. Otherwise, I'll get your finalized itinerary sent off to you in a few days. That sound good? Wonderful. Well, yes, this is actually quite a nice balanced sort of trip, I think. I think that's all that I need from you, then. As long as you don't have any other questions. Good, good. Well, thank you so much for coming to the Misty Hollow Travel Agency. Enjoy your afterlife.